Hey students, this is Dr. Lamb. I'm going to do a little talking head lecture, a little video clip here on Kilbane and Millman's book, or their chapter 1 from the teaching models. This one is Teacher as an Educational Designer. So it's just a little summary, if you will, a little quick kind of highlight elements of the text that are expected, or what I expect students to kind of understand and implement and practice and reflect on during the semester. The first is, what are we called to do? Well, there's one way to look at it, is that we're called to be educational designers. That each time we set foot in a classroom, we've designed some type of product for the students to engage in whatever the lesson is that you're wanting to teach them. So if you're going in to teach a mathematics lesson, you're going in to teach a world history lesson, social studies, science, language arts, if you're going in to teach an art, a theater art, whatever it is that you're going in to teach, that you have designed some type of experience for the students. And in that experience, the students will come about having learned some skill and an objective, a measurable type of objective. And so there's a whole process that you can think of. This book gives you some of those ways in which you can organize your designing of that lesson, and then different models that you can use when you are implementing the content in a way that helps students learn it to the best of their ability. So we move on. This slide kind of just like, I think I can, that train climbing up the hill and giving herself some positive affirmation. But desire, hard work, and experience were not enough. She also needed to figure out how to integrate the new tools effectively. Betty was forced to decide what to keep, what to discard, and what to reinvent before returning to her classroom. And this is all in reference to a story in the textbook about, being that persevering teacher, one that always improves their instruction, that looks at what they can do differently, what they can do to improve their instruction, and having a positive affect in doing that. Teachers need that. They need to pat themselves on the back. They need to give themselves encouragement to actually go in and really persevere and create those engaging learning environments. We are in the 21st century, and so you hear often the 21st century skills or trends. Here are some kind of quotes from the textbook that illustrate that element. Your success as an educator in the 21st century depends on your ability to design effective instruction for those you teach. And it addresses individual and shared learning needs of diverse populations. So we are now teaching in environments that are quite diverse. You look at other places around the globe, and students in those populations, many like within countries and subregions of countries, a lot of the student population are pretty homogeneous. There may be some heterogeneous differentiation with respect to economics, but with respect to many of the social and cultural elements, they are homogeneous. Well, in the United States, we are a melting pot. We have many cultures embedded within our classrooms, and so we as teachers need to address those and understand that diverse population. Contemporary educators find themselves surrounded by an unprecedented variety of powerful teaching resources. However, the resources, whether materials, models, strategies, or technologies, are effective only if teachers know when and how to use them. So you got an iPad, so what? Can you use it is the real question. You got a smartboard, so what? Do you know how to use it? Smartboard is not any better than dirt and a stick if the teacher doesn't know how to use it. So that's very important. You can't just go buy the gadget and think it will happen. It's like, if you buy it, students will learn. That doesn't happen. So you have to know how to use those. And then students work to master content area learning and the skills required for life in our fast-paced, technology-driven global society. We're teaching the students of the future. The globalization, the flattening of the world, and all of that is embedded in our connected fiber optic world. So you have to train students to be ready for that. Moving on, an educational designer requires a new mindset. It enables the teacher to approach his or her practice with increased control over important dimensions of the instructional process. The designer requires the expanded skill set, systematic approaches to instructional planning and assessment processing, and a high-quality tool set consists of a collection of powerful models, strategies, and technologies of teaching. And hopefully in this class and many of your other classes in your educational preparation program and out in the field will help you become a better educational designer, someone who can really plan and implement a lesson that engages and fully captures or pushes students to reach their full potential. So we have 21st century trends. Wouldn't it be nice to just focus on how we can use a light bulb instead of the iPhone? You know, turn of the century, 1900s, early 1900s, that's what they were worried about. Or, you know, we got electricity. We don't have to go to bed when the sun goes down. We can actually stay up late, and you have that changes the culture of the schools, and the school building can be lighted from the inside. You don't have to have the windows open, and so it'd be nice if we just had to worry about that. But now we have to worry about iPhones and cell phones and tablet computers and the World Wide Web, and using it safely and not using it at all, and all of that goes into 21st century skills or trends. The textbook talks about these: the digital technologies, access to information, globalization, equity, accountability. All these things go into what happens now, post 2000, the 21st century, and here we are, 2015, and we're still learning. We're still learning new technologies, and things have happened over the last 10, 15 years that are just totally amazing. And we as teachers need to know how to use those and design lessons that implement those wonderful things. The digital revolution, new information, ideas, changes, concepts of life, community, the pace, faster, more sustained. It presents a challenge, not always able to keep up with the pace change. Humans aren't. So these are things that we have to take into account when we are teaching in this society. And I'm a firm believer sometimes you got to slow down. You got to say, all right, well, I can do it real fast, but we got to slow down. We got to get kids on pace to acquire the knowledge that they need to acquire, and not just push through it because we can. Not just because we can search in milliseconds on Google doesn't mean that you've acquired all that knowledge, or we should do it that fast. We should take time to really process and understand content. The framework for 21st century learning is illustrated here and in your textbook. You have your core subjects: reading, writing, arithmetic, 21st century themes, and that's, you know, standards assessed. That's our testing culture. Those are the things that are going to show up in your STAR exam, going to show up in your national teacher exam or Texas teacher exam. These are the things that are, you know, the basic core knowledge that you need to have. But then this outer part of the rainbow here, where you have life and career skills, you got learning and innovation skills, the 4 C's. That's critical thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity. Those 4 elements, those 4 C's, are key to the 21st century skills. And then information, media, and technology skills. All of those things are playing a part, not always assessed. So we have to still implement them. We want students to be successful outside of our classroom. We have to implement these things that are not just on a test, that are not in a bubble-in multiple choice test. So you in a 21st century have to pay attention to that bubble-in multiple choice test, but you also have to pay attention to these other 21st century skills that are vital to improving our civilization and moving students towards that. So here's a first little video on Chapter 1, kind of getting introduced to educational design and 21st century skills. Thanks for watching.